Good morning, welcome to Home Farm. We're hoping to do just a quick live stream of our site for any of you that didn't make it to our presentation last night and aren't able to make it this morning. We appreciate it's quite hot weather, so some of you might be sensibly staying at home, but in any case we want you to see what we're hoping to do and give you an opportunity to see the site as it is now, which should help hopefully get some feedback from some of you. I'm Jessica Allenbach, and I manage the Aldenham estate on behalf of my family. We've owned this property for a very long time, and one of my ancestors built it in around 1890. It's pretty dilapidated now. It's been used as a farm until about the 1970s, 1980s, at which point it just became too small really for modern farm equipment, and has been moved into more general commercial use. It's a busy space, as you'll see, lots of people coming in and out already, but the buildings are in need of quite significant investment, and so we're proposing to build the Home Farm office hub, which would provide high quality office space for local residents. It's a project that we started thinking about doing actually pre-COVID, but since the pandemic the need for local, easily commutable office space has become very apparent. Lots of people working from home obviously, but we really feel that that's not entirely sustainable, certainly not 100% of the time. Everyone needs to keep a bit of a boundary between their home life and their work life. So what we're hoping to do is take the best bits of working from home and recreate them in an office environment. There'll be a variety of spaces here. There'll be a sort of membership model so that you can have a desk for a day, or more long-term, more traditional renting options so you can take a space for your whole team. We'll also have a variety of meeting spaces, so if your company has decided to go down the model of everyone working from home, you'll still be able to bring everyone together, do your team working events, do your creative thinking, anything that you need to do like that in a communal space. Something that's very important for our family and always has been historically is the landscaping around. We're based in a registered park and garden, which was the park and gardens for Aldenham House, which is now Haberdasher School, our neighbour. And with this scheme we want to be able to open up the access to that public park and that registered park and garden, and improve that setting that we've already got and really make the most of it. We're working with a landscaper called Tom Stewart Smith, who's internationally renowned but actually quite local to here, and he's designed a really fabulous scheme that we're hoping we can promote to everyone as a way of kind of bringing nature into your working day. So I'm going to switch the camera around now so you don't get bored of me, and show you the site as it is. You can see a glimpse of some of our brickwork. This kind of monochrome red black brick is the signature of this site. We've got a listed farmhouse which is just behind me here. You can't really see it actually over the slightly more modern extension, but that's what we're trying to improve, is the setting of this listed farmhouse, and I'll give you a bit of the history as I'm walking around. Thanks a lot. Right, so here we are arriving at Home Farm as it is now, coming down the main drive off Aldenham Road. It's obviously a beautiful day, but as you'll see, it's not looking as good as it hopefully will do one day. Here on the right we've got the listed farmhouse. It's grade 2 listed. It was built by William Butterfield, who was a renowned Victorian architect, and who did quite a lot of work on Aldenham House as well. And just there at the end you can see some of the original farm buildings that were built about a decade after the house finished in about 1900. Originally those buildings would have extended all the way around, but in the 1960s they were replaced with this more modern, at the time, farm building made out of breeze block and asbestos, which, as you can see, doesn't provide a particularly beautiful setting for the listed house. As part of the scheme that we're proposing, the buildings to my This is going to be confusing. The buildings from the breeze block onwards will be removed and replaced with modern buildings that will house the main office accommodation, and there'll be a big focus on the sustainability of those buildings. We're aiming for BREEAM Excellent, for those of you that understand that term. So there'll be a big focus on using sustainable materials, using sustainable heat and cooling systems, solar panels, and other details like that. All of the details of that proposal are in the planning application documentation. If you want to have more detail on that. The reason that we're focusing so heavily on the new buildings as part of this scheme is that for the refurbishment of the existing, of the original little red brick Victorian buildings, it's obviously very hard to get as high a level of sustainability there, because you're limited with what you can do and the changes you can make. We will be making some improvements through insulation and the window spec, but we're focusing our attention on the new buildings. So coming in, this gives you a view of some of the brickwork. As you can see, this sort of red brick with black patterning was very typical of William Butterfield, although in fact these buildings weren't, we don't think were actually built by him. They were a copy of what he was trying to do. I'm going to keep walking around. It's not that easy on a live feed to show the layout, so if you look on the slides you can see a bit more of the floor plan of the scheme and how it works. But you'll see there's a variety of these little courtyards, and the intention will be to landscape these and really improve them as a space for sitting, for getting outside when you're working, and to make sure that people can really bring nature into their working life. Round here on this side is the farmhouse I was referring to. We're now on the other side of it, and this lovely building is the original buttery. None of this is part of the scheme and won't be changed in any way. What we're just hoping to do with our scheme is improve the setting that it sits in. Keep going around the corner. We're surrounded by these meadows, as you can see, and these will be improved as part of the scheme and landscaped slightly so that there'll be walks available for people to take a stroll if they need a break from their working life. You'll see the brickwork continues along here, and this way we go on to the home farm glamping site, which is adjacent to us. I'm just going to switch off the feed temporarily because we've got some guests in having their breakfast, and I will pick up on the other side. Right, picking up the feed again. I've now walked through the area there. You can see past the corner of that building that you can see there, to again, it's difficult I think it's on it's on my left, but over here there's a stream that runs through. It actually picks up a feed from Aldenham Reservoir across the road from us, and feeds all the way down into our own lake, Tykes Water, which will be, again, the access to which will be improved as part of the scheme, so that our members and people working here can walk around the lake if they want to. This is the yard as it is at the moment. Again, as you can see, it's very dilapidated. It's very busy. There's a lot of uses here, but there's a huge need for improvement. This building here that you can see still has its original clay tile roof, whereas all the others were replaced with asbestos sheeting in the mid 1960s, we think. And the ambition of this scheme will be to remove all the asbestos and replace everything with clay tiles again, so that we can sort of recapture some of that original charm. This building here will be a small cafe that will prepare fresh meals for people working here. There'll be coffee available, and the scheme shows that we're aiming to have a small extension on the end of this building, replacing these horrible sheds that will provide a bit more space and a bit more of a sort of private meeting area for people who are working here and want to have a breakfast meeting or a lunch meeting. This double floor room, which is the old hay barn, is derelict at the moment. It's not being used by anyone on the top floor. We're hoping to turn that into a sort of flexible studio space that will be available for hire for meetings or conferences, and also for private dining or even wellbeing classes, that sort of thing. We're very aware that in Hertsmere there's a bit of a shortage of open space that can be hired for gatherings. It's not a huge area, but it'd be very nice for small private events, as well as supporting people working here. I'm just going to continue to walk around. You'll see from the slides that are part of the original presentation that it's a slightly strange layout in a sort of series of courtyards, as I've mentioned, and our aim is to really highlight that and use it, because it's a potentially very nice feature to have these lovely courtyards amongst everything. You can see that it still looks quite nice because it's such a beautiful day, but the actual brickwork and the fabric of the buildings is very much in need of some love and attention, so that's what we're hoping to do via this scheme. This is the back of the building we were looking at when we first walked in from the driveway. Panning around, there's the where the original buildings were destroyed in the 1960s. There's now a coach depot here that is very busy, and this is one of the reasons where, in terms of transport, we're confident the proposal won't make a huge impact, because although there'll be space for around 100 to 120 workers on site, actually, because the site is already so busy and the level of transport movements is so high already, there won't be a significant increase in transport movements. Again, there's a transport report included with the plan, with the planning application, so please take a look if you want some more detail on that. I'm walking around just to finish off. This is the other side of the breeze block shed that I showed you in the first clip. So again, as you can see, there's really room for improvement here. This space that we're standing on, this concrete floor, will form the main courtyard, with hopefully new buildings all around, forming a sort of U shape around here. But the actual hard standing that I'm standing on at the moment will be replaced with landscaping, with a beautiful garden that'll be looked after by an on-site gardener. And so actually you'll see from the presentation slides, we're actually in a position where we'll end up with slightly less hard standing than we currently have. But the scheme proposes to move all of the car parking round to the northern side of the site, keep it very separate from the registered parking garden, keep it all in one place where it's nice and tidy, whereas at the moment parking happens just pretty much where anyone feels like parking. So yeah, we're back now to where we started. I'll just walk around so you can finish it off, but I hope this gives you a bit of a feel for the site, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and we'd love to share more information about the scheme. Thanks a lot. Bye.